reason why we started Flack was because we saw two things. One is we saw an industry largely with one way to buy material physically, which is physical service centers running the product through their physical assets, and a sporadic use of other parties to help the processing along the way. We saw no one that was dedicated to understanding all of the nuance necessary to simply manage third parties. So to create another viable supply chain option, which then allows you even more flexibility. So you're designing the supply chain around the customer, which creates more certainty at the end of the day over long durations than pushing forward. So it's a pull-through sale as opposed to a push-through sale. So here's my equipment, here's what I make, here's what I sell, go find people who use this. That's how the industry was going to market. And we said, well, wait a minute, what if we designed a supply chain from the customer and reverse engineer it? Okay, so in our view, that creates more optionality. And in creating more optionality, you create more certainty because you can continue to buy from FGM, who can separate the price discussion from the physical discussion while we maneuver the supply chain and change it over time, depending on if you're buying a new piece of equipment as a customer and suddenly your service center provider can't provide you what you need, or things change along the way of your uses or your locations, or you're moving factories, or you're closing one factory, you're building a new factory. The FGM supply chains can move right with you. So you don't have to change vendors. We can change supply chains without changing vendors. So that provides certainty in our definition of it. And then of course, again, back to having the price discussion revolve around the curve and not around the steel. So separating those two, creating as much durability, again, anti-fragility in the supply chain as you can, and then separating and then having your pricing determined by the forward curve by an active management of placing the futures. For us, you combine those together, that's what creates the most certainty over durations.